सर, हमारे दर्शकों में से दो दर्शकों ने, एक है मिस्टर शशिकांत कोठारी, तो एक है गौरव गोयनका, इन्होंने कई क्वेश्चन पूछे। उसमें से एक है उनका कि कैन वी एक्सपेक्ट अ फेयर इंक्वायरी इनटू द मैटर।
देखो, आगे होता था कि ये क्वेश्चन बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट होता है, बिकॉज डीजीसीए यूज्ड टू डू एवरीथिंग। डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ सिविल एविएशन ये हमारी रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी है सिविल में। जब वो रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी जिसने चेक्स एंड बैलेंसेस करने हैं उसी ने ही इंक्वायरी करनी है, तो देयर यूज्ड टू बी लिटिल फेयर नहीं होंगे वो, क्योंकि आपने रेगुलेटरी अथॉरिटी है, वो गलतियां कर रहे हैं, आपने चेक नहीं किया, और कि आप ही उसकी एक्सीडेंट की इंक्वायरी कर रहे हो, तो आप ब्लेम करोगे अपने आप को। तो नाउ देयर इज अ ब्यूरो of accident investigation which does clean job. Apart from that, I must tell you that 3 countries are getting involved in this. United States of America, their FAA, there's all a Federation Aviation Authority, okay, it's something like DGC of ours. They are coming in from UK, EASA, European, okay, and fourthly, the important point, Boeing themselves are getting involved into this, because if this is a technical issue which you find in social media, they're talking about that the person who we call it as a whistleblower, okay, he's been mentioning a lot of things about the structure were not proper, okay, designing were not proper, they were trying to push the things together, and he mentioned that the top will fall from the sky one by one, okay. Now people are saying this is for the first thing that it has started falling from a sky, so they are also getting involved, the Boeing people also. So I think the other important point which has come in the media is the Home Ministry has ordered under the Home Secretary, okay, independent inquiry. They will not get involved with what has happened. They will get involved because so many people have died on ground, and what many safety factors have been compromised.
So in conclusion we can say कि इंक्वायरी तो होगी, वो बिल्कुल इंडिपेंडेंट होगी, and we can rest assured the finding will be unbiased finding.
Positively, it should be unbiased, because, for example, if so many agencies involved, okay, you give up some sort of a inquiry report which is contrary to other 4, positively nobody is going to accept that. And here, by the way, everything has to be done foolproof. One of my friend S.S. Chahar is a captain from Jet Airways, and he's even now, he's the examiner, simulatory examiner on this. He did the Air India Express. You read that, it is on the web, okay. They go into nuts and small things. Sathe, he was staying, Captain Sathe also was across the road, okay, and you used to see him walking, like and they got into so much depth that in his bag there were ये जो आपका जो sugar diabetes का वो he was taking medicine, okay, which was not told. That much of depth or into investigations is done, okay. They won't leave anything, okay, anything for that matter.
Sir, एक छोटा क्वेश्चन और उन्होंने पूछा है, the flight lost its thrust just after seconds of takeover. It could be because of engine failure.
Ultimately, if there are no thrust, that means the engines are shut.
Then can both the engines fail at one go, seconds after thorough inspection done prior to takeoff? As you have mentioned, prior to takeoff there is a thorough inspection. तो एक साथ में दोनों इंजन कैसे फेल हो गए?
देखो, बात ऐसे है कि I have told you the reasons we are discussing, starting from the beginning, the bird injection, both engines simultaneously at the same time, which is very, very rare. In my entire life, I have heard, I've got more than 40 years in aviation now, plus, okay. I can count on my fingertips that both the engines failed simultaneously. There are four such. This is all of them, till now, okay. I don't remember any such, because aviation, especially commercial, military में तो भी है, but commercial is so media covered and plus analyzed in depth to learn lessons so that we don't do the same mistake again in aviation.
सर एक इन्होंने और प्रश्न पूछा कुठारी जी ने, उसके पहले मेरे को समझ में नहीं आया था, लेकिन आपने एक्सप्लेन किया V1 and V2. तो उनका क्वेश्चन है, couldn't the pilot recognize the problem at V1?
Let me explain that what is V1. Although I have mentioned to you, V1 is no go, no speed. You see what we do when we do the training of these pilots. Okay, they are theoretically also taught, okay, that when you go on both the engines, okay, somewhere you don't know when, at least one engine can pack up because of bird, because of any such thing. Okay, so if such thing happens, what is your reaction? You're not going to start looking at your notes now. Okay, checklist ki kya karna hai mere ko. It has to it is like your nature or it's such an SOP that even if I wake you up and dream that this is what you're going to do, you should be able to rattle it out. So he will throttle back and abort the takeoff. He will not think twice before the V1. Now I told you that 2 seconds, the human reaction time, and I am giving an example for your audience that the aircraft engine has failed at the V1. It will take 2 seconds for him to react. He's already crossed V1. Actually, what we teach now is if the pilot has seen the V1, okay, speed, and then he realizes the engine is shut, or at that moment the engine shuts, aircraft is to go. You can't stop the aircraft. You have to take off.
So means the problem, अगर pilot को realize भी हुई है, तो only after V1 was crossed, not before V1.
100%. If it was before V1, he would have shut the, he would not have gone ahead. It is positively after V1, whatever has happened.
The next question is, why the tires were not lifted, although the flight took off and was at 625 feet above the ground?
That question is very important and pertinent which you asked. Now, I again mentioned to you that first thing the pilot is supposed to do when he rotate the aeroplane and when he lifted it off is put the undercarriage up. Okay, so he should have done it.
तो किसी ने सर एक दूसरे इंटरव्यू में सुना था, उसमें बोला कि might be he left it purposely open क्योंकि उसको लग रहा था कि अपन बैंग होने वाले हैं, तो टायर में act as a buffer.
You say don't say tires, you say undercarriage. Undercarriage the full, because there's a audio system on, and it takes a lot of impact. Okay, because when you come in for landing, okay, when you change the attitude for landing, the aircraft more or less is dropped from a very, very low height, so that there's good impact on with the runway and doesn't slip around. So why he didn't do it? That's $1 million question. Okay, everybody is asking, why was his undercarriage up? Now I repeat to you, if he realized something happened after V1, now he is tackling the emergency, and when he is tackling the emergency, okay, should he put the undercarriage up at that moment, or now? You see, when I say mayday, it is 3 seconds gone. Thrust, engine losing power, 5 seconds gone, and aircraft is dropping, another 1-2 seconds gone. Okay, 7-8 seconds is the transmission is going on. The time is clicking. If you see, from the time the aircraft lifted to the time the fireball was seen, it was just 30 seconds on the clock. तो आप उसमें देख लीजिए कि that the captain has to handle the emergency on the left hand, all these things what are happening, and on the other side, okay, he tell me, if your engines both are not giving thrust, will you like to put the undercarriage up at that time? आपकी power ही नहीं है, the aircraft is dropping like a bloody shit.
Sir, how critical is the role of air traffic control and pilot communication in preventing or mitigating such disasters?
Very important, especially in the military. I mean, we do a precision approach landing, and whatever the air traffic controller says, we do it. Okay, that's the way in the military, but in the civil, it is not permitted. Okay, we have precision systems like ILS. Okay, various other systems which can be utilized, radar, vectoring and all. But in this particular case, okay, ATC can only assist in what is going to be the next, and that was the destruction which you are seeing, the fire tenders, the medical aid services, how fast you can gather maximum at that particular place. And also, you must imagine that there is a full commercial traffic which is there. They are controlling. You can't just say that has happened. Now the other traffic which is flying or coming in for landing, who's going to handle that? So those ATC plays an important role in civil aviation, extremely important.
सर, इस दुर्घटना से हम क्या शिक्षा ले सकते हैं to make the aviation flying experience much more safe for the common people?
Arunji, what I have been, whatever media coverage till now I've been with, okay, I say wait for court of inquiry. Look at what are their findings and what are their recommendations. Then only we can speak. At this stage, it will be premature for us to say what lessons we can learn. Because if it was a pilot mistake, then some SOPs will change. Okay, if it is a technical mistake, the designing, then it will be the Boeing company which will be held responsible for the things to do. Or if there is such thing like some administrative issues, like during refueling, something has gone wrong or something which they have filled. I don't know what that court of inquiry which is being ordered and which has got a lot of the professionals on board. So we will wait for that.
Sir, is there any specific recommendation or suggestion you like to make to the regulator and the airline industry to make the aviation more safe in future?
My answer will remain safe. So we have to wait, because the regulatory authority and the airline have got specialists. They are paying to those specialists for these jobs only. And we, being in the military and the civil, can only comment at this stage that yes, whether it was preventable or not preventable. If it was preventable, then there are a lot of lessons to learn. But if it was non-preventable, okay, non-preventable, like for example, I told you, if not the bird, ingestion at that stage, which right now we can't see, so it is, unpreventable.
So with the depth of knowledge you have, technical and work experience, we can go on and on. But I will not like the interview or podcast to be too long for people who some of them may find boring or uninterested or have lack of time to listen to it thoroughly. So in conclusion, I would like to have your view. What